For CurtinFM 100.1, coming up this Sunday at the Motorplex in Kwinana is the CAMS Festival of Motorsport 2010. CAMS, of course, is the Confederation of Australian Motorsports, and one of the entries in there will be a vehicle from Curtin Motorsport, which is student-run and organised, and the exposure manager from Curtin Motorsport team, Errol Hassett, is my guest this afternoon. Errol, good afternoon and welcome.
Thanks for having me, Keith.
You're welcome. Now, tell us a little, before we go into what's happening Sunday, what exactly is Curtin Motorsport?
Oh, like you said, Curtin Motorsport is a student-run and organised team who design and build an open-wheel race car. Most of us are mechanical engineering students, but we're open to any degree-seeking students.
Is this your first car, or have you...?
We've built, I think, 5 cars now. We had a car in 2003, a car in 2006, a car in 2008, 2009, and we're currently designing our new ones. So.
By open wheeler, we mean they're similar to the Formula One cars, but at a different formula, like Formula Ford or something of that ilk.
It is more similar to a Formula Ford, but a lot smaller. We run a 600cc motorcycle engine. We're limited as part of the rules of the competition we compete in under 601cc.
Where do you compete?
We compete every year in Werribee, Victoria, as a part of the national fsae-a competition. We get teams from all over Australia, teams from New Zealand. We've had teams from Japan and Germany.
You don't compete locally?
We do compete locally in the year when we can. We enter in local speed series like the Hill Climb series and Motorcanas, things like that. But as you'll know, with motorsport, it is very, very timely and expensive, so we are limited with students.
Errol, how long has Curtin Motorsport team been active?
Our first team was created in 2003. We had a bunch of interested students go to the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and they were very accommodating and started up the team to compete in the competition. It's actually an international competition run by SAE. It's been running for over 30 years. So.
Where do you get your finance from? How do you get to pay for your parts and your engines and what have you? Or do you just scrounge them off the tip?
No, nothing off the tip. It's all high tech, Keith. Mostly we go to the Department of Mechanical Engineering and ask them very nicely if we can have a lot of money, and they usually oblige us very well. We do seek a lot of discounts and free parts off external manufacturers, mostly for fabrication, painting, things like that. We're always seeking more sponsors because motorsport is an expensive business.
I guess one of the things that the folk may not be aware of is that although you're building these open wheelers for competition and for exhibition and what have you, it's also teaching you all about your craft, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Most people will think that the whole idea is to build the race cars and win, but realistically the whole idea behind the competition that we're a part of is to use the techniques and knowledge that we're learning as part of our degree, most of us being engineering students, as to how you're going to actually work designing parts and fabricating them in the real world. And the biggest thing you're going to walk away from the team with is your professional development and how to work with other members to achieve a project that you're working on. Okay,
so how many is in the team?
At the moment we've only got about 12 people, but we get up to about 25 during the year, but a lot of people sort of drop out as push comes to shove and studies take over, but we most of the time have 12 guys that are dedicated.
Okay, you decide we're going to build a new car. What's the process?
You want to build a new car, we usually write down the goals that we want to achieve with that car. We put priorities, as in what do we want to do, safety, reliability, all those sorts of things. We'll put them down in a schedule of what we want is most important, and then we'll use previous cars and other teams' cars as a benchmark to try and validate designs, and then we'll work from there. So the driver's this big, it can fit in this big a chassis, what material we're going to use for that chassis. We'll go through the process, breaking each step down, seeing what's the benefits, what's the negatives of each thing, and can we afford it?
Can you afford it? Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Do you use your research similar to F1 to transpose that to car, to on-road vehicles?
Transposing things to on-road vehicles, realistically, is it going to work for motorsport? No, not really. We're not an on-road car, and we're not made for comfort and reliability as such.
So you're not sort of testing things for the future?
We are testing things for the future, but not in terms of what they would for a road car. It's a race car, not a road car, so it's a lot different. We're all about lightweight and performance and driver comfort. Well, it's nice, but we're not going for that.
Yeah, there isn't too much comfort in any race car, is there?
There's not particularly. We're working on that. We're trying to find comfortable positions. You're more worried about the safety of the driver more than anything. I mean, you don't want the driver to come out and be a wet rag thinking, oh, that was hard work. If we can make it easy on him and make him comfortable, he can focus on what he's doing more. And we try our best, but we have limitations. So.
You would have design limits, do you? Do you have safety features that you must include in your vehicle?
We do have a bunch of safety features. A lot of it comes down to the material we use for the chassis, the size of the members, the overall size of the openings in the chassis. We have, for instance, templates that must fit in the driver's cockpit so that he can actually escape the car in an event of a crash. We have what they call an impact attenuator. It's basically a crumple zone that we must manufacture to certain rules that are set down in this fsae competition that we compete in. We have to produce a report showing calculations and tests that we've done to prove that our attenuator will actually take a test of the set down rules. I think it's 60 kilometres an hour, such and such meters per second absorption of the force.
Okay. Now it's an open wheeler, so it's a bit hard to put a safety cage in there. Do you have a roll bar?
We do have a roll bar. There's rules that roll bar must be made certain height, must have certain clearance to the driver's head. We shouldn't really get into technicalities that a lot of people probably won't understand. But you do tests at the competition. They even test how quickly the driver can get out of the car. So.
Safety is paramount, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, well, tell me a little then about what's happening at the Perth Motorplex at corner of Anketel and Rockingham Roads in Kwinana Beach this Sunday.
This Sunday, it's the CAMS Festival of Motorsport, as you said. It's gates open at 10 a.m. to the public. It's a display run by CAMS. It's the first one in Perth, but it's run in Australia before. It's for promoting amateur motorsport teams and clubs within Perth, and we'll have rally cars there, off-road cars, and obviously our uni race car. Also, other uni race cars will be there, putting on dynamic displays, and then the team will have a little stall there. People can come and meet and greet, ask about the car, jump in, poke around, have a look at it. It should be good. It's free to the public from 10 till 4.
And you're looking forward to some support?
We're definitely looking forward to a lot of support if we can get it.
Errol, thank you for calling by. I do appreciate it, and thank you for enlightening me and other folk as to the existence of Curtin Motorsport, what it does and what its aims are, which I think are very, very good and certainly helping your development in your future career.
Thanks, Keith.